Is this thing on? Oh, it is! Hi! Hi, guys. It's Wine and Wine time. It's Wine and Wine time with my wife, a.k.a. Stabby McGee, a.k.a. HBIC, a.k.a.
Stop, you can just keep it.
Okay, I can't. I don't know how to rhyme any more than that. I'm sorry. Guys, happy Friday. Happy Valentine's Day. Hopefully, you got somebody to love. If not, you can do what you need to do how we met. You can swipe right. You can swipe right. Pick them up from the airport.
That's what it's called, airport.
Airport. Bring them home and
that's it.
do it. The sexuals. Do the sexuals. All right. Anyway, guys, we have a great wine for you today. This is Synthesis by Martin Ray. It's a 2016 Cabernet. This is their flagship cab over at Martin Ray. James Suckling gave it a 93. The cool thing about this wine, guys, is it came in our Bounty Hunter pack. So if you guys have ever been out to Napa Valley, Bounty Hunter is an incredible place with the most incredible barbecue. If you order... This is my first sip. I'm just mentally unstable today, Jess. I've literally been talking like that for like 3 days now. I think I did, I don't know. Anyway, guys, so Bounty Hunter, now I'm distracted. Bounty Hunter, don't order the sampler to share. No. It's too big.
No, you want to order to share.
Oh yeah, order it to share.
Not by yourself.
Yeah, don't eat it by yourself. It's too big. It's huge. So anyway, it's this badass barbecue place. The sampler platter has everything you want on it, unless you're vegan. If you're vegan, it has absolutely nothing on it. It has coleslaw, but I think the coleslaw's even got like I think they slap their meat.
It's not vegan. It's mayo. Mayo isn't vegan.
I don't know.
It has egg.
They slap their meat with it. So don't eat that either. But yeah, guys, that's the wine we're drinking. So every quarter, Bounty Hunter sends us. We're part of their Killer Cab Club. What the club gets you, in case you're wondering, because we found out the hard way, it's a very prestigious club to be in, guys. If you're going to join one, this is it.
It was our first one we joined.
Yeah, you get a free app once a year. Fuckers. We were all excited. We went there for our second trip. We had just got done drinking all day, and we were like, oh, dude, let's get some barbecue. So we went and got some barbecue. We're like, we're club members. We're here from South Florida. Which one of these 3 appetizers do you want? All right. We'll share a sampler as well. Cheap. No, but they have a great wine list. They do wine tastings, like pairings there, so like you can do flights.
They have pages of flights.
Pages of flights.
Yeah.
Like it's fucking awesome. So they have guys who, depending on the club you're part of, guys or women, I don't know how they identify or what they are. But what they do is they have like specific ones. So the cab guy goes out to all these wineries all over the place, and he just picks shit that he likes. And then once a quarter, he sends you really good stuff. Some of my favorite wine has come from their Adaptation. What was the other one? The first time that was super good.
I don't know. I just drink it.
I don't know. Yeah, she doesn't know. She just drinks it. So, yeah, that's it. So, the 2016 Synthesis, guys, really good cab. It could probably open a little bit more. Still a little close. I opened it at noon, but it is out of the Diamond Mountain District, a little bit of Coombsville, Rutherford Stags. They have them all over where they take their grapes, but this is their flagship cab, so this is the one they do the best. Anyway, guys, what we want to talk about with you today, because it's Valentine's Day, it's Wine and Wine Days, we want to talk to you a little bit about balance. First, Kyle, we're going to talk about... No, I'm just kidding.
He's not going to watch.
All right. Oh, yeah, he will. So anyway, guys, what we're going to talk about is a little bit about balance and the myth that balance is, and how we've kind of worked out what our balance is, and what you guys really need to look for, too, right? So, what's up, Mike? That would be something that I truly would think that you guys would want to know about, and so we're going to talk about it today. Kelly's very talkative, so a lot of times she'll sit there, laugh, and drink. That's what she does best. So she's and eat. Yes, if there's food, she'll eat. But guys, what we want to talk to you about a little bit is when you're working on doing things as a couple. I really think that that does a couple of things for you. The first thing I think it does for you is it allows you to truly learn about the person, what they're good at and what they're bad at. There's things that she will not do. It could be the most essential thing on earth.
Nope.
If she doesn't want to do it, it will not happen. So what you need to do is be able to sit down with your partner in crime, okay? And decide who's working on what within your life. Like, what are your couple's goals, okay? And one of the things that we always talk about is goal setting and blah, blah, blah. And people always bring that into fitness, into careers, into financials, into almost every area except relationships for some reason. A lot of people think, well, we have our relationship and then I go to work and do this, and I do this, and she does that, and blah, blah, blah. And there's these separate little chores. And in reality, guys, what we found is that if you actually have goals together, a lot of times it ends up being a lot more fun. This is something that, and again, guys, we are far from fucking perfect.
You mean you?
I'm far from perfect. She's pretty close.
Yeah.
I'm like a 4.
I'm a saint.
She's at like a 9.7. So
You're so bullshit. You're trying so hard.
Somewhere in there. I'm not trying that hard. I got you cinnamon rolls this morning. I got you chocolate.
You're winning.
I got rose petal. I got a swing chair.
Not a swing.
Not a sex swing. I'm too fat. I rip it out of the ceiling. I'm way too big for that shit. Like a normal swing. Get your head out of the gutter. But I just think one of the things that people need to talk about is goals more together. And what is one of the things for you that kind of like so when we talk about goals, what is the things that you typically look for when we talk about goals? Like what are your goals within our goals? I know vacation's probably one of them, right? Like one of the things when we set goals and have like rewards, one of the things, guys, is just to get the fuck out of here, right? That's one of the things that Kelly really likes. Talk about that, maybe some other stuff that maybe you find important.
That and family. So here's the thing with my husband.
Family?
Shut the fuck up. So if he is obviously constantly busy, 100 million one things. So he is watching. The only way to get him completely focused for longer than an hour on anything but business is to get him out of Fort Myers. Probably out of the state for an extended period of time. Now, granted, we can only be around each other without anything else going on for
5 days.
5 days.
That's our rule. We found.
Anything above that, he might not make it back because he's like this constantly. So around then, 5 days, and we come home, and then we're good. But then we usually put on the schedule in the next in the next few weeks another vacay, because if you have something to look forward to, that makes it.
That's a huge thing.
Yeah.
Scheduling is a huge thing, guys. So always putting something on the books so you have something to look forward to. Yeah. Whether you're with somebody or not, to be honest, is the only way you can avoid burnout. I don't care what any of these fuckers say or any of these gurus, quote unquote, say about work and going 24/8 and all this other shit. Like, dude, nobody's that efficient. Nobody's that effective. And truth be told, most of you guys don't want what a lot of those guys have, right? Like,
they don't have anything.
Well, right, but when I think about, some of the uppity ups in personal development who makes just stupid money and the amount of life that they've wasted,
right?
Like, I don't want that.
No.
And I don't know about you guys, but a lot of these guys, like, once you've gotten to a certain point, you start working, you start seeing growth and progress, you can really step back and say, fuck, to get there you got to give up way more shit. And even right now, guys, so I know that a lot of you guys probably don't follow us. Well, obviously you do because you're watching this video. That's a stupid fucking thing to say. But if you don't follow us closely, you know that right now we're going through fertility treatments. We're working on IVF. We don't share a whole lot about that because I think it's overplayed a little.
I think it's underplayed, but...
Okay, well, we could argue that later. I just think right now, like, one of the things that we don't talk about a lot is us going through that. But realistically, between dealing with all that stuff, dealing with opening another location, dealing with launching franchising, dealing with the supplement company, and then dealing with Bryce, dealing with having to have vacations and things scheduled, I think that's really one of the things that you need to understand, right? Is you have to sit down and talk. Because if you don't, and you both have these expectations for each other without understanding the sacrifice, you're fucked. And one of the things that she will remind me of a lot of times is scheduling time for her and Bryce, scheduling time with her alone, away from Bryce. So I made the mistake a long time ago, and she's laughing because she knows this, but I made the mistake a long time ago of assuming that time spent with her and Bryce was quality time.
No.
Wrong.
No.
Right. So don't ever assume, especially if you're a man, because you're wrong. 1,000 times out of 1,000, you are fucking wrong. So just understand that you need to ask that question. And they're not going to answer you directly because they're women. Okay? So they're going to fucking tiptoe and try to test you and quiz you into fucking getting the answer that they want, and you need to just grab them by the... No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. What you need to do is calmly ask them...
See how that plays out.
Calmly ask them, hey, what is it you actually want? Like, what is it that you really actually want? And make sure that you do not let them sidetrack. Hey, how can I do this? Because again, guys, a lot of us are task-oriented people, right? We are not conceptual. We don't think the way that a woman thinks, right? I mean, sometimes I do when I dance, but every other time in my life, I don't. Don't joke on that. Take an inch back. Start over. Ow, sorry. Anyway, so one of the things that you need to do is you need to make sure that you understand that you need to communicate and get your point across. And this comes from both sides because we've, like, probably in the last 8 months, we've fought more, I mean... Efficiently, yeah. Like when we fight now, we fight with a purpose, and it's not just to win. It's actually to understand the other person, and you have to understand who the other person you're dealing with is too, right? So obviously, if you know me, you may not know this about her. She's actually more of an asshole when you argue than I am. I will be much more logical. She will not. She doesn't give a fuck if she's right or if she's actually right. She's just going to win the fight. So please keep that in mind, that if you're dealing with somebody who's a female, most females that I've met, like, they would rather win the argument than to use logic.
Your logic.
Which is correct. So, but for a lot of times, guys, when we argue, I have to be very self-aware, and I actually calm down the situation a lot, which is interesting if you know me, because she's a lot more stabby than I am.
Lately, you calm down the situation.
Yeah. Well, because I know what the point is, right? The point is to make us stronger, and the point is to make us better. And when you put that at the forefront of your argument, guys, it will shut you up very quickly, because most of the time when you get heated in an argument, or you're fighting with your spouse, or you're trying to get a point across, understand the true purpose is, if you're not trying to make the relationship better by having the conversation, why the fuck are you having the conversation, right? Like, and again, if you're like me, like, I don't want to waste time having an hour conversation that goes like this for no purpose. I don't need a friend that bad, and neither does she, to be honest. Like, she don't give a damn, right? Like, she don't care how my day's going. She just doesn't. She's not one of those people who just sits around all day and wonders what I'm doing. Like, she just doesn't care. So again, guys, and if you're not with somebody and that's a quality that you want, I would have that conversation early on in dating. Like, hey, what kind of person are you? Are you the kind of person who's going to sit around and like worry about how I am? Or are you the kind of person who kind of does their own shit? Or are you the kind of person who's going to want to work with me on stuff? And truly have those conversations, because we fucked that up. Like, we didn't really have any of those conversations until July or August. A lot of them, like, in depth, to where we sat down and said, how are we going to accomplish our goals? And before that, it was, I'm going to do my shit.
No, we had those conversations. You just weren't listening.
Well, okay. But for the most part, I think you, like, it was a lot of, I was going to do my shit, and you were just kind of along for the ride, correct? Yeah. And it's not that good of a ride. So what you have to understand, guys, is when you don't have that good of a ride, you need to have great communication skills. I'm not talking oral communication. I'm just communication skills. That does help, though. But that's what I want to talk to you guys about a little bit. And one of the things that I think you should cover, because I was thinking about this when we were talking about balance, is what is something that when you are setting up goals and boundaries with your significant other, like what's okay, what's not okay, what are some of the things that you take into account when having that conversation back and forth?
What do you mean, what's okay and what's not okay?
So, like, for instance, when we were talking the other day about like, okay, I want to do my schedule this way, but I want to be at the gym at this time. If I'm gone too many mornings, your attitude changes, and it's very easy to see.
Oh, okay. Well, schedule for me now in our life is super important. So when he starts fucking with it, so for example, in the mornings that he's talking about when we have Bryce and we have the 2 dogs, and I have about an hour window to get the dogs out, fed, my son up, changed, fed, myself, same thing. If he's not here, it's a lot to do in an hour. And if I wake up stabby, per usual, it just amplifies everything. So when he's gone for repeated mornings where I have to do the whole morning routine by myself, I'm usually just done by the end of the week. If he's here and helps out at least 3 out of the 5 days?
Yeah.
3 out of 5 days? Then it's a lot easier on me. So that's usually a non-negotiable. I have a time that I work out every single fucking morning. If you fuck with that, it fucks with my day, and then I'm not happy. It's all about keeping me sane to a point, because I'm really not that sane.
Well, and so guys, when we started dating and before we got married, you got to remember that we had just opened. We were 4 months, 5 months in, something like that. February, so whatever that is. She can't do math, so don't ask her. When we started dating, it was February.
Yeah.
And when I met Bryce was what, March, April?
No, it was February by your choice.
Okay, so
He didn't start spending significant.
till the Masters. I remember him hanging out at the Masters because that was the first time I fed him ice cream, and I watched him do the dance because she'd never fed her fucking kid ice cream.
He was all organic.
I literally changed a life. I put ice cream in his mouth. He was 1. He couldn't talk. He went like this. He literally looked at me, danced, and smiled.
Best.
I haven't seen that since a $5 bill at Scarlett's. Like it was a hell of. No, I've never been there.
That's a gross strip club.
I've never been there. I'm just saying.
All right.
It's the only one I could think of that's down here. In Michigan, I forget what it's called. I don't remember what it's called. Herpes. I think it's called herpes. But anyway, after we left herpes. But no, guys. So one of the things that when we started being together and hanging out and then living together was the big move, right? When we moved in together, is I was gone all the time, right? Because we had just opened Gulf Coast, the hurricane had hit. It was just the location opened 2 weeks after hurricane. We had an employee who was a complete moron, and it was just a clusterfuck of stupid. And so we ended up having to, me and Kyle, open Gulf Coast.
What people don't realize is like, if they see our trainer schedule now, that is not how Platinum started. Our trainers are on 3 days?
3.5.
3.5 days a week. When we started dating up until almost marriage, he worked 6 days a week. He worked every single fucking session. Him and Kyle, and every staff almost worked every single fucking session. So there was no, they had the break in the middle of the day, which that meant come home, eat, sleep, and go back and do it again, and then come home and sleep. So there was no, his time was very, very minimal, very minimal. So since that has changed, it's opened up a lot. Like in the beginning, I knew that there was no.
Well, we wouldn't have made it.
No.
If that would have stayed the way it was. No. Because I saw Bryce, I would see Bryce Wednesday mornings.
Yeah.
That was the only time I would see him of the whole week. And remember, guys, because
he's not yours.
Yeah, baby daddy has him every other weekend. Hopefully, if fucking stars align, if you're watching. But if the stars align. So the problem was if I didn't see him on Wednesday morning and it was his dad's weekend, I fucking wouldn't see him for 10, 12 days at a time. Mm-hmm. And so that was at a point where it wasn't healthy. And by the time I'd get home at 9, it'd be 8, 9 o'clock. I have to wake up at 3:30 to go finish up or clean up or do whatever, because we didn't have a cleaning company at that time either. So a lot of people don't know this, but like we used to clean the fucking gym twice a day too at both places. Yeah. So it was insane. And then do all the paperwork and then clean up all the bullshit and then deal with the marketing people and then deal with everything else. So I just didn't have time to do anything. And it got to a point where we pretty much, started growing apart because we were apart.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're not together, but what, an hour a day? Like, you're going to grow apart. So it came to a head, and obviously we worked on fixing our schedule, and we've sat down since then and said, hey, this is what I need for this to work and to be healthy. And I said, this is what I need for this to work and be healthy. And that's what we work on now. So, and I tell you guys this because, you know, as most people know, because again, we've been blasted all over fucking social media with all our personal shit. Like you guys, most of you know, that we've had to deal with some real shit. So it's one of those things where we just had to deal with it publicly. So in order to fix that, we had to draw a line in the sand and decide, hey, are we going to keep going, or are we just going to say fuck this and move out and go our separate ways? And that was a real conversation. And that conversation's probably been had, what, 6-7 times?
It still happens.
It still happens, but not like seriously. Like, you know, at this point it's like, hey, this is what I need because this isn't cool. And we go back and forth on that, but it's about finding the line. So the reason I want to talk about balance with you guys too is because now when we go to do something, or when we go to expand, or we go to launch franchising, or we go to launch another location, like yesterday we were out looking at locations, and today we've been busting our ass trying to get this deal done so that we can hopefully submit something and maybe get a new location. So it's one of those things where, like, she knows that when we say, hey, we're going to do this as a company, she understands that 98% of the time it's going to take to do that comes from her. Whereas before, it wasn't communicated well, and there was an expectation that, oh no, this will happen here and you'll still have this. Well, in reality, that's not how life works. And especially when you're going through building something from zero, a lot of the time it's they serve you the ball, you have to get the ball out of your court as fast as you can, and then when they serve it back, the ball's coming. You got to hit it back over. And that's how you open a business, is you hit the ball over and you wait. And it doesn't matter if it's 10 o'clock at night. It doesn't matter if it's during her time. If a trainer calls in sick, if fucking there's an emergency, like, it doesn't matter. I'm the last line of defense. So that time gets taken from her. It is never anyone else's time who it gets taken. It is hers. So one of the things that we've learned a long time ago, well, at least, you know, for the last 8 months, is we've learned very, very seriously that, hey, this shit's about her and I and our family and our happiness first. And if we're happy inside of here, fuck everybody outside of here. And as terrible and as mean as that might sound to some of you, and I know, you know, if you send me a cancellation, let me know. I'll send you the email. But like, realistically, that's the truth of how you need to go about life. Is if your circle and your family isn't happy, where the fuck are you going home to? Because here's what happened. It wasn't a good place to come home to. We weren't happy with each other, and this was a both-sided thing. Neither one of us were happy at all with each other because we weren't communicating at all. There was zero communication, guys. And the reason that I'm talking to you about balance is because this is a real issue that will fuck you up, especially as you're trying to grow anything. Like, and again, if you're happy, like, I have friends. I was just looking on Facebook the other day. One of my friends got married in Hawaii that I've known, who's owned a business for a long, long time. Well, him and his wife, all they do is go on fucking vacation. Like, they're on vacation fucking probably 30 weeks a fucking year. Like, I swear to God, all the fucking time. Every time I look on their Instagram or Facebook, they're fucking on another vacation. Like, they're never at work, but they're happy. They're happy as shit. Like, every time I see them, they're both smiling, laughing. Well, it doesn't, but they don't care. Like, that's the life they want to live, right? And so that's what I'm saying, guys. Like, so for her and I, the life that we want to live isn't that. There's things that we want to accomplish first before we go, oh, okay, well, let's take our foot off the gas a little bit. And personally, just as a business tip from me to you guys, for the next 5 years, you need to keep your foot on the gas.
Yeah.
You're never going to have a better economy
Nope.
than for the next 1 to 5 years. You're never going to have a better opportunity. Period. End of story. If you want to read between the lines there of what I'm saying, that's totally fine. Again, we had our political talk last week, but I'm telling you guys, truly, if you really, really, really want to improve your life and you want to go all in on yourself, the next 1 to 5 years is your fucking window because it's gonna turn. It's gonna turn after that. It has to, for a lot of reasons. But I am very, very skeptical of past that. So me and her have agreed that, hey, this is our window to build, push, and then we will sit back and reevaluate once we get to that time. So that's just something that we've worked on. As far as vacations go, so here's the other thing too, and I want her to talk about this, is she needs vacations more than I do. But what are you trying to accomplish during a vacation? Because this was something that I didn't know because I didn't ask. And a lot of you guys, when you say, oh, I need to get a break, or I'm burnt out, or I need a vacation or something, you really don't know what you need. And that's one of the things that we found out is that we would just be like, well, we just got to get away. That wasn't necessarily what fixed it. So when you look for vacations, what are you looking for?
It's not a vacation. So for me, to get him semi-normal, he's never normal, semi-normal, and to communicate without being attached to anything else, like I have to get him pretty much out of the state to get what I call my husband. I only have very small chances to be able to have my husband relationship, which I know what I've signed up for, but I need to have a planned time of, okay, he might be crazy, stupid, busy right now, and it might, but I have an end date. So for this 5 days, I'll have my husband in front of me. Now, granted, it's not one-on-one attention. It's not any of that, because there's always communication when you own what he does. But, usually when we go on vacation, he'll work for an hour in the morning, and then we go fuck around all day. Napa is our favorite place for many reasons. So I even told him recently, my favorite husband is my Napa husband. Not only because wine does make him happy, but it's an actual time where literally, all we do is drink, go to wineries and eat.
She eats all the food. I
do eat all the food, but he's normal.
Yeah,
as normal as you can get.
Yeah,
because he doesn't have the other stressors.
So it fills her up, and so the point of what she's trying to say is this: figure out what the point of the vacation is before you take it, right? Like if you need to get away from your fucking kids, dude. I get it. There is no better happy dance I make than this morning I made because he goes to his dad's tonight and tomorrow. Like, fuck yes, I love him. But goddamn, right? Like, fuck. Like people are like, oh, cherish these moments. I'm like, fuck you. They go by so fast. Not in the moment. They fucking don't. When he's screaming in the goddamn morning, that goes by like nails on a fucking chalkboard.
There's certain times that we do though.
Yeah.
When he's cute as shit.
Yeah, when he's cute, I miss him.
Other than
yeah, the rest of the time, not really. Like people who think their kids are fucking adorable are idiots. They're just
he's adorable.
They're houseplants who shit and piss and scream. They're loud, annoying houseplants.
You're gonna get hated for this.
I don't care.
Okay.
It's my fucking kid. But we're trying to have another one. Fuck. Why? Anyway. But the point is, guys, is that's one of the things that we get away from. So we schedule time with our in-laws to take the kid, and then obviously he has time with his dad as well, so that we can kind of figure all that out, right? So that's one of the things that we've. How fast did that person?
I don't know.
Like they were just. That was a button. Like apparently someone really agreed with that. Okay, I don't know who you are, but
definitely not a new
thank
parent.
you, MVP.
That's an old parent.
That's an old parent. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But anyway, guys, like that's one of the things that I just think you need to understand is the point of vacations, right? So we take them for a couple of reasons. We take bigger ones. And by bigger, I mean 3, 4, 5 days, because remember, we know our limit, right? So you're going to find out your limit, establish your limit. Even on our honeymoon, guys, we were gone for 8 days on our honeymoon. 5 was perfect. Day 6, 7, and 8, we just blacked out on tequila, because we fucking wanted to kill each other.
I was looking for a Mexican.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. There was a lot of other cultures there as well that we could have looked for.
Yeah,
but anyway. So establish your limit and establish what the point of going away is, right? So is it to get away from shit? If it is, like when I'm on vacation, guys, I tell my people, hey, this is my fucking hour. I'm going to work. What do you guys need? What can I help you with? They don't say shit. I'm out. Unless the buildings are burning down, call me, and even if they are, fuck it, I got insurance. Piss on them. Right? Like.
But your team is amazing to the point where they tell you to not even worry about the business.
Yeah, they yell at me if
they don't want him involved when he's on vacay. That's impossible. That's just not going to happen. But it shouldn't happen. But they won't bother him ever again unless the building is burning down about anything.
Right. So, but that's something that I think you guys need to figure out, because a lot of people fuck vacations up. Like they go, I'm burnt out, I need to get away. But if you're taking the thing that you're burnt out with you, that fucks the vacation up. That's not a vacation. Then you're just doing the shit that pissed you off somewhere else, right? So, and there's times, guys, where like I'll tell her, hey, I need this time just away from you. Like it's not a bad thing. Like I try to go away once a week for a couple hours at a time where it's blocked, and I don't need a lot of time away from her, but just a couple hours a week where I'm like, hey, this is my time. I just want to go, like, not think about shit and just do me. Cool. She doesn't need a lot of that. Blows my mind. I mean, I know I'm fucking awesome, but like I feel as though there's probably a sticking point where you could get sick of me.
I don't need hobbies, but we're not up each other's ass during the day all the time, though.
When are we up each other's ass?
We're not fucking.
It's Valentine's Day.
Shut the fuck up.
Anyway.
Kyle's still watching.
All right. So, but anyway, guys, we just want to talk about that. We've probably been talking long enough. Is there anything else you wanted to cover? Anything else you think that they need to know about balance?
Not about balance.
What?
We'll do a phase 2.
Oh, a phase 2.
Episode 2.
Episode 2. Anyway, guys, hopefully you like Stabby McStabberton McGee next to me. Hopefully she did a good enough job for you. Hopefully you have an awesome Valentine's Day. Hopefully you get lucky. If not, swipe right. Have a great day. We'll see you guys next time.